wagging the finger in his face. Now, that is a sending off offence because, one, he has shoved the official. He's done it in an aggressive manner,
Yeah.
and he's been quite aggressive there. Now, depending on what Chris Kavanagh puts in his report, his match day report, depends on how long Mitrovic gets banned for. Now, there's rumours going around that he's banned for the season, for the rest of the season, which wouldn't surprise me. But the thing is, though, also you've got to give credit to the referee here, Chris Kavanagh, because after being shoved by Mitrovic, he could have turned around and reacted and thought, yeah, you want to give me a shove, I'll shove you back.
Yeah.
But he could have lost his cool, but he didn't. He just showed him the red card and just got on with the game. Now, that is very professional, in my opinion. So, in some ways, I would say he's definitely not a bad referee, Chris Kavanagh. But he showed his professionalism there. Now, if Mitrovic gets banned for the season, that's his own problem because at the end of the day, he's got to realise he should not be doing that on a referee. Now, you talk about the Bruno Fernandes one, where he shoves the linesman against Liverpool. Now, you see, what's the actual difference between the two? And again, but what Dermot Gallagher says, it's not as aggressive as what Mitrovic is. So you kind of think, well, yeah, but surely you can't put your hands on an official. You shouldn't be able to. You know, even if it's a late push. In my opinion, whether it's a linesman, a fourth official, a referee, if you put your hand on them and give them a late push, you should be instantly red carded regardless. Do you agree, John?
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Because at the end of the day, right, I mean, that sounds like violent conduct. If you do that, it's wrong. And there's no place for it at all. There's no place for it at all. You've got people like Paolo Di Canio, push the referee, Paul Alcott, right? He got 11-game ban. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes should have got banned for that as well. I'm sorry, but he plays on the red shirt as well. I'm sorry. And they're talking about Mitrovic could be banned for 9 months. He could be banned for 9 months. That's what I'm hearing. But I think, is that harsh? 9 month harsh?
I think so, John. I mean,
that's the question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people in the chat might not remember. They might be a bit young for it, but you remember back in the 90s when Eric Cantona Kung Fu kicked the Crystal Palace fan? He got a 9-month ban for that. You know? So, if you're going to give Mitrovic a 9-month ban for a shove on the referee being a bit aggressive, then I think that's a bit harsh, in my opinion. But I would certainly say, I think if he's banned for the rest of the season, that would send a message out. And maybe other players may think, oh, in future, we'll not put my hands on the referee. But
that
again,
is the problem.
That's what the FA's got to do now. They've got to make sure that whatever punishment he gets, it fits the crime, but also it sends a message out to the rest of the players. Do this again, and you're going to get even worse punishment. And you've got to make a stand. That is the thing. You've got to make your authority shown, and the FA need to be authoritative on this. Now, as I say, if that was a Man United player doing that on the referee, would they get the same punishment? Who knows? That's the thing. But it wasn't a Man United player. Marco Silva is in trouble as well because he was sent off.
Massive.
Because he'd done a big no-no straight away. He walked into the technical area where the VAR TV is and you're not allowed to. And that is totally against the rules. And then he started shouting and swearing at the referee, Chris Kavanagh, and asking, well, what about the penalty in the first half with the shirt policies? And apparently a lot of bad language coming out of him. And Chris Kavanagh just given the red card. So, I mean, this is the problem. Marco Silva walking into a technical area. It's not, he shouldn't be doing that really. And whatever punishment he gets, he'll have to take it on the chin, you know. We all remember Alan Pardew when he headbutted David Meyler. We were absolutely disgusted with what Pardew did. that day. He let the club down badly. Now, the perfect opportunity for our previous owner was to sack him on gross misconduct grounds, and he wouldn't have had to pay a penny because that was gross misconduct, what he'd done. But he didn't. He got away with it. But he got a hefty ban from the FA over it. And, you know, when a manager does that to a player, you just think, why? What leadership qualities are you showing to your team? As your leader, you're in charge of that team, you're the manager, and you're headbutting an opposing player. It's just despicable. It's disgusting. And he lost a lot of respect for that after that, Pardew did. But yeah.
Can't be doing that, man. He got a 100,
No.
he got a 100,000, and he should have been sacked. But the reason he get sacked because Ashley bottled it. He bottled it. Everyone should have said he should have gone now. But I tell you what, Henry Rafa Benitez did that. He'd be gone. That is the thing. But they need to make an example. But 9 months, is that too harsh? I'll tell you something. After Eric Cantona, he got banned for 9 months. And when he came back in, Tony, Man United still won the title. Because I tell you now, if it had not been banned, Blackburn Rovers would have not won the title.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, they would have. I mean, I'll just quickly put that on screen there now. But there you go. There's the Pardew headbutt.
Yeah.
If you all remember that against Mailer. Mailer being an ex-Mackham, by the way, as well. But obviously no excuses that he's an ex-Mackham. But yeah. But it was stupid from Pardew. I don't know what he was absolutely thinking about doing that for. Why he thought of doing it. You know, just couldn't believe it when he done it. Couldn't believe it.
Neither can I. And when I heard that sort of, I thought, Jesus Christ on the bike. I had to watch it twice. I had to watch it 3 times to see if it's really him done that. And then when I posted out there, I said, this guy must be sacked tonight. And people jumping on us, saying, I'm talking shite. Excuse me, right? Have an opinion.
Yeah. I'll just go into some comments. Lee says, we haven't won playing in the green and white kit, but we're in the blue and yellow kit winning now. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't. It's been a bit of a bogey kit for us, hasn't it? Perfect goal from Anderson, said Lee. Absolutely. EFC Band TV, welcome to you, sir, at Bournemouth. And he says, Bournemouth Fan TV, he says, next Saturday, 2-1 Bournemouth. Who have you got? Who have you got the following Saturday? But whoever it is, good luck to you. And if you're new to the channel, mate, please hit the subscribe. That'd be great. Thank you very much indeed. Coffee says, if that was Rashford or Fernandes, they wouldn't rule it offside. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Rolly says,
exactly.
When the ball come off Felipe, that played Longstaff onside, just like a back pass. Absolutely, Rolly. Definitely, mate.
Absolutely.
And when it got to Longstaff, it was already in the second phase of play, because the first phase of play was Felipe hitting it to his own player, Nayakati. That is the first phase. Once the first phase is out the way, you've then got the second phase of play, which is where Nayakati hits it off Longstaff. That is the second phase of play. I'm still confused and I'm still angry at what Paul Tierney saw and what he was told. And I think we need to have things out in the open. I bet even Newcastle United didn't get an explanation as to why they ruled it out. I bet they just got told, oh, we're sorry about that, it should have stood. I bet that's all they got. I bet they didn't get a full explanation.
Nah, not at all. Just one thing, come on the Twitter message from Nicola Dolby. She said about the referees being poor. She said, no, some are brilliant, some are bent, and some are pressed into appropriate decisions. This football government thing needs to investigate PGMLL, and how Webb needs to arrange EPL match officials better.
Yeah, she's absolutely right, John.
That's Nikki D.
Lee says they need proper official for VAR. Yeah, definitely. And Andre says, hi, Paul Fire, Paul Tierney and his entire backroom staff. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, Paul Tierney should be demoted to another league, maybe just for a couple of games or something, down at the Championship or something like that, just to say, look, you've done wrong. There you go. We saw it with John Brooks. He was on VAR duty. He got something wrong and he got pulled out the game the day after. So, let's see more of this. Let's see more punishment given to them and just say, look, you can't do this off you go. And go and have a couple of weeks in the Championship or a couple of weeks in League One. There you go.
Exactly.
You know, and that way it'll send a message, oh, we'll not make this mistake again. But, yeah. Oz Bollocks, I like that one. He says, our refs are shite. I love the name, mate, and I love the picture. Absolutely brilliant, that. Oz, absolutely brilliant, mate. If you're new at the channel, please hit the subscribe. Thank you very much. A diary says, we need proper official for VAR. Yeah, we do need a proper officials for VAR. That's the thing. We just haven't. I think, all in all, and chat, get involved as well, please. And I'm going to ask you this question, John. For VAR, should it be run by independent people rather than the referees ourselves, John? Should it be an independent body rather than the refs?
For me personally, I mean, I could turn it back on you, but that's a tough one. I would say that when you mean independent, I mean different parts of the world, would you say, or different parts of the world, would you say, people, or it's a hard one to say.
Just run by an independent body, John. I think you would say run it by an independent body. You know, maybe have ex-players running it, but you have an official next to you. So like a refereeing official who knows the game. But
Yeah.
obviously you got to be careful with bias coming in. But you can't be too biased. But then, I don't know, John. You know, it's just one of those. Is it a time for the ex-players to be given that role of doing the VAR?
I don't want ex-players, you know, like checking on bad tackles and getting charged the following day. But for me personally, I think got Lottie in the chat, man. Big up Lottie, and you know what it is, right? It's just, oh man, I think it should be independent as long as they know what they're doing. But I have to agree with Lottie as well. We need to make them full time as well. Make them full time, as well. So. You're right. For me, I mean, you get Nicky, if you get Lottie's comments in a bit, but VAR referees are crap. They need proper ones that knows the stuff. That's why they need to get someone European, and they know exactly what they do.
Absolutely, John. Lee says the refs have deep pockets at Man United.
There's not April the 2nd, by the way. That is the day.
Les, good evening, Les. She says, evening, John. She has no notification for the show.
Now, what it is, right? I mean, it says on my screen, right? Please, if you just link the show, right, so I can get my audience on as well, so you can watch your channel as well. So that came on the top right hand, and I clicked it too late. So look, at the end of the day, you know, I would have got more people on there. So yeah, that's why Lottie's on there.
Yeah, Mag says too harsh. Joanne Appleby, good evening to you, Joanne. She says, when you lose respect, it's thin end of the wedge. A season ban would be better. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Joanne. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
She talks sense. She was on my channel about a couple of weeks ago, and she talks a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah. Mag Debate says a 5-game ban, and he has to referee 5 games in non-league. Do you know what? That's very harsh to send him to non-league. But do you know what it is? I can see what you're saying, though. But I definitely think there should be some sort of system in place where if you're not doing your job, what they should have is like a league table for referees. And at the end of the season, if you're in that bottom 3, you're relegated from the Premier League and you're put into the Championship or whatever in the EFL. But what I would do is, now I've heard there is some good referees in the EFL Championship. Some are stinkers as well, apparently, but you get that everywhere. Well, what I would do is, if I was Howard Webb, and I'm not Howard Webb, by the way, but if I was, I'd be thinking, right, hang on. Well, this guy in the Championship, that one. I've got 4 refs in the Championship who are performing at their absolute best in that they're getting this right, that right, and this right. Yes, they're getting a few things wrong, but they're getting the majority of that decisions right. Then they could look and say, oh, well, hang on a minute. Right. Well, what I could do is, I could then say, right, well, say Tierney, Coot, Banks, them three have been absolutely useless. I'm going to put them in the Championship and replace them with them three referees who have been doing brilliantly and give them 3-match spell in the Championship, and these referees can have a 3-match spell in the Premier League. And they might step up to the Premier League and they'll think, right, okay, we've got to make sure we're on our game like we've been in the Championship, and if we are, we'll get kept on in the Premier League. I think that's the way to do it, John. But, you know, it's like when you bring youngsters through in a football team, you like to see how well they do. So why can't we do the same with the referees? Have some sort of thing like that. Do you agree with that, John? Do you think that would be something that would probably work? If you've got like great performing referees in the Championship, why not something with a couple in the Premier League who are underperforming?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree, because at the end of the day, right, I mean, you all make mistakes, that's fine, but this is the one thing you've got to have. There's little room for error, sort of thing. So yes, if you make a mistake, then I'll demote them for a Championship for a couple of weeks, and if they get it wrong again, do it down to League One until they get it right. But absolutely right. Championship referees into the Premier League is a big step up. They've got to start somewhere for me, but I don't see why not. But if you're poor, you're demoted. Simple as that, Tony. Totally agree.
Lee says Finney Jones got sent off for pushing the ref as well. Yeah, so did DiCanio. Gary says, did your lads hear about the Chubby Brown joke when we see a free kick? We meant some... right, okay, yeah. We got that one, Gary. Vicky Akaz says, all 4 referees are crap. Needs independent in the men's and women's games for me. Need to make the women's referees full-time, if I'm honest. Yeah, I totally agree where you come from. And you're agreeing with what I'm saying. An independent side for the VAR, which I absolutely totally agree with. Just before I get into some more comments, if you like what you see, then please smash your likes. It really does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. And also, if you want to make a donation to the channel, there is a link in the chat. Just click the link and follow the instructions. Thank you very much indeed for that. So I'll just get into some more comments there, John. Lee says, ex-player from abroad. Is that for VR, is it, Lee, or refereeing, you mean? Good evening, lad, says Rock the Tune. Good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Sefton says, off Wiedersehen all. If you're not busy, watch this great show on Catch Up, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the show. Night. Thanks, Sefton. Good night, mate, and enjoy your night shift at the hospital, mate. Well done. Matt says, totally 5. Yeah. Need ex-players on VAR, says Paul. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Vicky says, it's ironic that Howard Webb and his missus are both top referees. It is, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Lottie.
Coffee says, oh my God, there's 2 shows going on. I've just noticed.
There is, like I said, I clicked on that one. I thought, hang on a minute. I could do it on there. 2 shows live, but it's mainly yours. It's mainly yours, but I think, I hope it is.
Ali Coffee says, like the show on John's stream too. EK says, big up legends. Thank you very much indeed. Big up, EK. Rock the Tune says, how can they say Anderson goal was offside when it came off a Forest player? Exactly. Do you know what? We can debate this until the cows come home. Yeah, we could debate this to the moon and back. And we all know all day that is definitely a bloody goal, a legitimate goal, you know. And it's crazy. But I'm glad we got the penalty, because I'll tell you now, I think if we didn't get that penalty and we'd ended that game in a draw, I think you would have seen a different Eddie Howe in front of the cameras. I think you would have seen a raging Eddie Howe in front of the cameras, and I think he would have went full throttle at the referee. And who would have blamed him? Because I wouldn't have. And Eddie Howe doesn't often lose his cool. But I'll tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me if he did that night, if we'd only got a draw. But thankfully, we got the win. Because thanks to Naya Catty, the gift that keeps on giving, to stick his hand up. Let's give a handball away. And if you notice, both goals were scored, John. They were both scored in injury time. Again, Forest are terrible in injury time for conceding goals.
They are. They are, and you can see lots of them as well, which is not good at all. They need to fix that very quickly, or they're going to be in serious trouble.
Coffee says relegation for referees, absolutely. Rock the tune, evening lads, evening to you, mate. Lee says for Tony. Don't get me even started going on there. Rock the tune says, how was Anderson's goal offside when it came off a Forest player? That's the thing we don't know. And he says, we deserved that penalty. We would have been robbed. Yeah, absolutely. AK says, I hate Man City, Chelsea and Arsenal with a passion, but I hope they slap Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? We're 5 points ahead of Liverpool now. So, we've got to keep that. We've got to keep that focus going and keep that, but yeah, it's absolutely brilliant.
You know what it is, Tony? What it is, Tony, right? Before you should move on, yeah. But I mean, we're clearly right. At least that Spurs won't make it. Liverpool might not make it. Chelsea will definitely not make it. But you know what it is, right? This is absolute epic this season. We said before the start of the season, we're going to give it a real go, right? And we're going to surprise a few along the way. And we are going to rattle them. The elephant is in the room. And guess what? We're loving it, Tony. Loving it.
Yeah. But for the guys who are watching on, obviously, the link-up thing that John's put out, the link out, yeah, and just in case you're confused, because I know there's a couple of people a bit confused by the channel, it's all black and white TV, by the way, so it's not John's channel tonight, John Sinclair TV, it's actually all black and white TV that you're watching on, but obviously John can share it and put it on there, so just to let you know, in case anybody's a bit confused as to why John's sitting on a different side to what I'm on, but yeah, so, but this is my channel that John's on tonight, and yeah. Lee says, I hope Ant starts in the next match. Depends, doesn't it? We'll see. We'll see what Eddie Howe thinks, though. But
you know what it is? You know what it is, right? He's done a lot more than ASM. I know. Look, I like ASM, but I'm going to be honest, right? When is the last time? I want people leaving the comment section down there. What's the last time he was man of the match? Excuse me. I'll tell you exactly when he's man of the match. Way back in August. That's against Man City. Mm-hmm. Since then, he has not been man of the match. Elliot Anderson's come in, and he's with fresh air. He's got in, right, and he put himself up boot, right. Scored a goal, disallowed goal. But I tell you what, this guy, he's going to push, he's going to give it a real go. He's done more than ASM has done. And I said it many a time, right? He's got all the tricks that he can run, but you haven't got an end product, then you're out. You have to have an end product in your game.
No, you're right, John. You're right. I mean, he was disappointing the other night. Yeah, okay, Eddie Howe says he has an injury. We're not sure if he has an injury or not, but, if he has, he has. But Anderson did a lot more than that 45 minutes in that second half than what ASM did in the first 45 minutes. Exactly. But I've got a feeling, John, that after the international break, because Joe Linton's back, he's not suspended anymore. Mm-hmm. I think he'll put Joe Linton back on the left with Byrne, because you can't drop Willock now because Willock's played really well. So
absolutely.
I think Joe Willock will walk back into the team. Joe Linton will walk back into the team. He'll go on the left-hand side, and I think Elliot Anderson will be a substitute. That's how I'm looking at it. Or Eddie Howe could totally surprise us and put Joe Linton on the bench and play Anderson on the left. Do you know what, John? How many times have we all guessed about what teams Eddie Howe puts out, and we've always said, this is a team we think will go out, and then it'll be something totally different to what we think. Because that's, nobody can absolutely guess bang on what Eddie Howe's team's going to be.
Exactly. I mean, he just keeps his card close to his chest. He doesn't give much away, doesn't he? And I'll tell you what, we find out on Sunday, the 2nd of April, who's going to play. But there's competition for places now, and ASM is not a guaranteed starter for me. And you know what? He's got to work hard. I mean, we've been good to ASM. We really have been good to him, right? But at the end of the day, right, if you don't fix up, right, you're not going to be in the team. Ask us one question. Is ASM better than Saka? No, it's not, right? Saka is more consistent. ASM, right, this is his 4th season now, and I've always said it's going to be a massive season for ASM. He needs to show us now, 4th season, right? And a lot of people's given up on him. I don't want to tap him out yet, but I tell you something, right? But it's all on him now. He's got to now the end of the season to push in the top 4. I want to get top 4 this season. Does he want to be a part of that? We saw what Elliot Anderson did the other night. He's eager. He's got energy.
Yeah.
He's got passion. Anthony Gordon, when he comes back, I'm sure he's going to be alright. Right? And who else is there? Miggy. Miggy is okay.
Miggy.
I mean, he started well, went down a dip, and he's trying his best to get back into the game. But Joe Linton, that left side berth is Joe Linton for me. Leave Joe Willock where he is. Joe Linton on the left. I stick with Murphy on the right, man, because he's doing all right. He surprised us, that guy. I'm telling you, he surprised us.
Yeah, absolutely, John, absolutely. Rock says, what do you think of Conte being pushed out of Spurs? It's only, to be honest with you, it's his own fault if he gets pushed out. Gareth says, I hope the Referees Association don't put Tierney in charge of any games, of our games for a long time, if ever, especially at home. Yeah, you're right, Gareth. He shouldn't be in charge of any of our games. Vic says, brilliant, John's in the passenger seat tonight.
Yay! Yes.
Ian says, Anderson deserves to stay in the team. Yeah, he does, Ian, absolutely, mate.
He does.
Jake says, Maxi got man the match against Liverpool down to 10 men, John.
I forgot about that one, but not very many of those 2-man matches this season. Yeah, look, I'm not having before people think I'm going to go at him. I'm not, but I'm only judging him. I already assessing him game by game on the day. If he plays well, I'll praise him. If he doesn't play as well, then I should have to be honest and say that is crap. And I will say it. Who cares?
Well, John, at the end of the day, football's all about opinions, right? And that's why we love this game so much, football. But, and everybody can have their own thing about whichever player's great, whichever player's crap, and things like that. And the thing is, John, we both say it as we say it. And, if a player has a bad game, the player has a bad game, and we will call that player out for having a bad game.
Absolutely.
If that player has a great game, then we will say that player's had a great game. We don't wax lyrical. We say it how it is. That's it at the end of the day.
Doesn't matter who you are. It's like Botman. You gave him a 4 the other day in the player ratings. I don't blame you. I would give them the same. Simple as that. And then he gets some of the fan base, right, saying that you can't have a go at them. You can't have a go at that. Well, no. We just call it out, say it how it is. Simple as that. That's why I like some podcasters like Lottie. Lottie says it how it is, yeah? She doesn't suffer fools gladly. Do you know what I mean? Macy, the same. Again, she doesn't suffer fools gladly as well. They say it how it is and they speak the truth.
Absolutely.
So do we.
Vic says, no way, John. Saka's different gravy. Lee says, Ashby when he gets back. Yeah. Max says, Gordon will be okay when he learns how or not to put his own foot, lol. And EK says, what's your thoughts on us being linked with Scott McTominay? Right, EK. Scott McTominay, I'm not a great fan of him, in all honesty. I think we can get better than that, if I'm all honest. Yeah, we can get better than Scott McTominay, I'm sorry. But the problem is, I look at it, is it a case of, are we really in for Scott McTominay? Or is it just journalists drumming up a load of crap and recycling old stories? And as far as I'm concerned, it's recycling old stories. I just hope to God we are not linked to McTominay. Do not want him. Please do not buy him, Newcastle United. And that's my thoughts on McTominay. John, what's yours?
I'm going to have to go with you, sort of thing. You would not be my first choice, let's be real. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I would have taken Thomas Partey, to be fair, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Sorry, Lottie. But look, at the end of the day, right, I mean, for me, I mean, you definitely need a CDM. I mean, Calvin Phillips will be good, but he gets injured all the time, which is a damn shame, right? But at the end of the day, we definitely need a CDM, 100%. And Milinkovic Savage would be my first choice.
Yeah, I would rather have him over McTominay any day. Cat, good evening to you. Well, our players have had only one good all season. You never walk alone. welcome to the channel, All Black and White TV. If you like what you see, please smash a like and give us a subscribe. Thank you. Ian says, I like Maxi, but he goes missing in games at times. Yeah, he does, Ian. You're absolutely spot on there.
Can be
Maxi's got to prove himself. No. Ian says, don't want him. McTominay, absolutely not.
Tom's.
Vic says, I know John's sort on taking Nketiah and Tierney off my club. Tony, would you have either of them? Now, I mean, Nketiah's done all right for you, to be fair. And when Jesus was out, he was doing all right for you. I'm not sure on Nketiah, but Tierney, Tierney is a great left back, don't get me wrong. And in the chat, Vic, there's a guy called Ian Fleming who's a big Celtic fan as well, like John is. Now, I like him, Kieran Tierney. I think he's a good left back. The only problem I have with him though is the injuries, and that's the only stickler, that gets me. But other than that, I like the fact he is a great left back, but it's just his injuries. That's all I'm concerned about. And as much as I would love to take Tierney at Newcastle, and I would take him there without a shadow of a doubt, but I've got to think, can he last a full season? And that is the problem. We've had enough of our fair share of players over the years that have had injuries, so, yeah, I would have him, but if he was injury-free.
Oh, he's played 20-odd games this season, by the way, Kieran Tierney, but when he does play, he's an attacking left-back, and I think this guy, when he's injury-free, this guy could be one of the best left-backs in Europe. And that is not, I'm not going to lie, because Kieran Tierney is a cracking fullback. You're right, Tony, his injuries again. And if he's available, then, yeah, he's going to have a stringent medical test as well. I hope I take him. I take him all day, 100%. And as an Nketiah, right, for me, would I have a Nketiah? I wouldn't have a problem having Eddie, to be fair. I think the guy's young. I think he's going to get better. I know people's going to laugh at us, but at the end of the day, he does miss a lot of chances. I get that, but he's at the right place at the right time, But he's getting in positions and that. But if we get Eddie Nketiah, right, I would definitely back him 100%. I would definitely back him. He wouldn't be first choice, but if he came, I'll back the guy because he's got potential. There you go, Lottie.
Vic says, no, you can't have party, John. We've had this conversation. Lee says, Man, you can keep McTominay. Yeah, absolutely, Lee. Definitely. AK says, I don't want McTominay or Mount, but I'll definitely take Sabitzer. Would you have Sabitzer?
I would. I think he's a good player. He's always been a good player. He's been under the radar, that guy, for Bayern Munich. And, I think Ten Hag done really well getting this guy. And I think they're going to keep him on. They're definitely keep him on.
AK says, Rio Hatate from Celtic would cook in our midfield.
It'd be a lot of money, that guy. But if a Premier League came in for him, I think he'd be good. But I think he'd probably stay still to one more year. He is so classy.
Ian says, yes, Tierney, Tony, lol. Yeah, I knew you would say that, Ian. Lottie says, you'll have a pick of players on your Champions League. Forget McTominay, he's dreadful. Absolutely, I don't want McTominay, Lottie. Sorry, I don't want him in our club, so he can do one. You can stay at Man United. Vic says, don't get me wrong, love Kieran a bit. Incredible when fully fit. You can have Eddie, as I say to John, your defence is trouble.
Your defence in trouble. Your defence in trouble. And get us out the door, in the room. Actually, so in the room. That's a song. I love that song.
Biassi is due to the intensity of our game. Tierney would be on the injury table every other game next to ESM. Lee says, what about Zaha? No, thank you. No.
Not for me.
No. He's a one-club man. He went to Man United, flopped. Went back to Palace, done the business for them. Sorry, I don't want him at Newcastle United. Ian says, AK, yes, he would. So, there we go. Right, guys, we're going to wrap up now. But, John, do you want to let people know where they can find you on your socials?
Thank you very much for having us on, Tony. I sure will.
No problem.
You can find us on, we actually shared a stream tonight because I thought, okay, we'll do that. And so both could be watched, which are only so from this half an hour of it, guys. For me, you can find us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and also on Facebook. I think it's Facebook, don't I? It's John Sinclair TV.
Yeah.
If you find us on Insta, John Sinclair 50 on Instagram. And if you find us on Twitter, John_NEFC42. And that is on social media. If you follow us, I'll follow you back. And we're supposed to be having a Premier League show tomorrow. I quickly realized there's no Premier League games as well. So I will speak to Lottie and think of something to do. We'll probably do a transfer show or talk about a bit of Newcastle, etc. She won't mind that at all. So, yeah, I've got a couple shows lined up. I should think of them as well. So, and if you're new to the channel, like what you see, then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. And I'm all in now. If I can find me, I've got left another 10 more for 4-5. 10 more for 4,500, please, people.
Well done, John. Well done. Right. So, so you can find me on Twitter at TonyTony31 down there. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. I'm also on Twitch at TonyTony31. You can find me on my channel, which is It's All Black and White TV. This channel's only been going since October, so I've been going for 4.5 months now. So if you like what you see, then please smash the like button. It really does help the channel up with search results. Also, if you're brand new to my channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have any upcoming shows or any pre-records. I'm currently on 453 subscribers. So I'm 47 away now from getting to 500. And that's in less than 5 months. So I'm not doing too bad at all. So the channel's grown lovely. And to everybody who has subscribed so far, I thank you very so much. And also, it really is a pleasure to have you coming on and watching. And the people, of course, who's come on from John Ernst to watch as well. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you get yourself It's All Black and White TV. Check out my content. I've got some great stuff on there. And so tomorrow I'll probably be back with a show, maybe a preview for the England game. I'll definitely be doing an England warm-up show on the Thursday with the 2 teams announced. Not sure what I've got Friday, but on Saturday I'll be coming live from the King Power Stadium at Leicester because I'm going up there to see England under-21s against France under-21s, which is a 5 p.m. kickoff. So there'll be a few vlogs done from there. I'll probably do one on the train on the way up to Leicester. So do check in for that one as well. And I'll go through some last comments that we've got in before we end the show. So I'll just go back to the... What about Sahar? No, we don't want him, Lee. Definitely not. AK, yes, he would. Hitati is a great player, says Ian. Just joking, says Lee. Banda says, hopefully McTominay is paper talk. Yeah, absolutely. Vic says, Sahar's found his level. Wouldn't wish him on any club but Palace. Absolutely. Gareth, thank you both. Thank you indeed, Gareth. One of my regular viewers.
Certainly
Great show, that says AK. Thank you. Make sure you head over to the channel, AK. Maybe Spurs, or says Vic. Hey, who knows? You would love them to go to Spurs, wouldn't you? Anybody to go to your North London rivals. Lee says, been great night, Tony and John. Cheers, Lee. Thank you very much indeed. Another one of my regulars. Great show, guys, says Vic. Thank you very much indeed, Vic. Ian says, cheers, Tony and John. Cheers, Ian.
Cheers,
see you later,
Ian.
my man. Rock the tune. See you tomorrow, John. Tonight, lads. Thank you very much. Great show, Tony and John, says Matt. Cheers, Matt. Hope you have a great day in Aussie land.
That in Australia.
And Coffee says, bye, John, Tony and all. Bye-bye to you, Coffee, as well. And he says, sorry, bye, Tony, John and all. No worries, Coffee. No worries at all, mate. But, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. It's been a great debate on the referees. And, it's great to have these shows. And you've got to have these debates. And it's always fantastic when you get people to come on and interact in the chat. It's absolutely brilliant because you get to see people's different comments. And this is what I love doing. This is my passion, for anybody who's just joined on from John's side tonight, if they're not sure who I am. But I'm Tony. And like I say, I'm been a Newcastle fan over 40 years, 41 years since I was 10-year-old. And my passion is Newcastle, and I'm glad I can share my passion with everybody else out there and give everybody the entertainment they deserve. So that's what I like to do. And, so thank you very much for coming on. And like I say, do have a look at my channel, because I do have a lot of good stuff on there. And I do put some little video shorts and things like that out. I sometimes do morning videos when I'm sitting in my car before I go into work. So do check those out as well. Just the last few comments. Russ says, big up John, lad.
Big up Russ, he's another goon as well.
Gary says, great show, lads. Cheers, Gary. Another one of my regulars. Thank you very much. And Coffee, my regular, says, comments on both channels appear on the same show. Absolutely.
I think it's brilliant.
And Vic says, subscribe, Tony. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. But it's been a great night. And thank you for coming on as well, John. I know you've got a dash off after the show. But But take care, everybody. And until then, see you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you're doing. And away the lads.
Away the lads. Take care, Tony.